Last Friday, I was notified by Spectrum that they would not be presenting me any Disney channels in the coming future. And what that meant was that I was not going to get ESPN and I was not going to get the SEC network. So I would not be able to watch either the Alabama football game or the Auburn football game. Well, that just wasn't going to happen. So I followed up on someone who has been advertising to me. And then as a result of our Friday Stock Talk, I realized in a conversation that about 10% of those attending the Stock Talk used YouTube TV. So I followed up and I went to YouTube TV and I saw all of the Alabama game, the Auburn game, and all of the football that I really wanted to see and would want to see. And then this morning we got up and we had access to CBS and we watched Sunday Morning, and everything I want is there. In fact, I believe it's going to give me the opportunity to get rid of some of the streaming services that I have, because I can pick and choose the shows that I want to see, and YouTube can make them available to me. Well, what does this have to do with investing? Well, I got to thinking. I committed to $72 to YouTube TV, which is Google. My current contribution to the Google program, Financial Stability, prior to that was $1.99. That's what I paid for the storage for my Gmail accounts. So in essence, I increased my expenditure to Google by 35x. I did that, and I committed to do it every month for as long as I live, or whatever. So I got to thinking, I had just done some videos, you saw them, about how Google was going to offer me an AI package that would eliminate my need for any accounting advice, any travel agents, a concierge service, just a myriad of things. And then even in my business, that I would be able to access code that would eliminate me having to hire a freelancer to get those charts onto my website that I want to. So, and that would be for $30 a month. So I'm sitting there and thinking, and I showed you this spreadsheet that I put together on the size of the users of Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Meta. And I said, holy crap, Google is at least a 35xer, because if they can increase their income from me by 35x just in one 15-minute stroke, they can do it for everybody. And Google's income is going to explode, and Microsoft's income is going to explode, and Meta's income is going to explode, because they are going to use artificial intelligence and their ability to package things better than Spectrum or AT&T can, and they're going to own my TV, my freelance, my business advice. So is Google a 35x? Let me show you some of the more detail of these charts I've put together, and then we'll come to a conclusion. Is it a 35x, or is it something, as someone said, Homer wrote me and said, it's time to stop these people. They're getting too big. Well, is that really the way we want to approach this? Let's talk some more about it after I make it very, very, very clear. This is not financial advice. This is just some old man sharing his experience through his 79 years of life. Yeah, September the 5th, that'll be tomorrow. I'll be 79 years old, and I've experienced this. I've experienced that TV used to be free, but now I'm paying at least $79 a month, and I'm going to pay it to Google. Let's talk more about this.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
This is the portfolio allocation tool that I use. It's available on my website. And what I want to share with you is how I look at stocks and where do they relate to each other. And since we're talking about Google, Google represents 4.63% of my portfolio. Its current price is $136. And what I'm doing here is trying to get a relative future growth potential out of each of our stocks. Now, Google tells me, and this is an analysis of their earnings per share, that they're anticipating their earnings per share will grow by 23% between 23 and 24, 18% between 24 and 25, and 16% between 25 and 26. And this is numbers that I've extrapolated from Seeking Alpha and listening to their earnings calls. So that says over the next 3 years, that's going to give me their earnings per share is going to grow at a rate of 68% over the 3 years. And that compares to NVIDIA's at 497% and SYM's at 1,897%. But that doesn't take into consideration. I've listened to their last call, and they made just a glance over statement that our auxiliary offerings are doing well. And at the time, I didn't really realize what they were talking about. What they were talking about was YouTube TV. So I think their earnings per share is going to grow dramatically. And then what I do down here is do a similar analysis relative to growth of revenues. And again, if I look at Google down here, I see their growth in revenues over the coming 3 years is estimated to be 34%. Well, if I'm right, and that, in fact, my expenditure to them has increased 35x, then they don't have that in this number. Okay? That's my take on this. You may have a different take on it. What helps me come to this conclusion is this. I shared this on prior videos, but I want to make sure that you all see it. This is a Excel spreadsheet that I put together relative to the potential growth of Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Meta as a result of artificial intelligence. I believe they're each going to offer us a package of artificial intelligence and then machine learning that is going to make our lives better. So in my mind, what has to happen is the person who has the biggest user base, who has the biggest potential of users or TAM in the marketplace, are going to be the big winners. And so I researched and found that Google has 4,300,000,000 active monthly users. Microsoft 1.4 billion, Amazon 310 million, Apple 1.46 billion, and Meta 2.99 billion active users. And when I was thinking about this, I was talking about Microsoft and Google have announced that they are going to offer packages to businesses and to individuals like you and I at a rate of $30 per month. And I said, okay, it's not realistic that all 4.3 billion users of Google will sign up for that. But what if they did? What would that do to their revenues? And how would that compare to their overall revenues? Well, on a monthly basis, that's what it is, $129 billion. On an annual basis, that translates to $1.5 trillion relative to their current revenue per year, which is $282 billion. That's a 547% increase in their revenues, okay? Not addition to their revenues. And that only counts. That's their $30 offering. That doesn't count for their $72 offering that I just added. And I think it's realistic to believe that these behemoths are going to just continue to create more monthly offerings that they can provide to us to make our lives better. And it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And does the government come in here and say, we got to break these behemoths up? I mean, my God, they generate more money than we do. And the fact is they probably will. Collectively, I think our national debt is now $33 trillion. Well, why don't you just turn it over to Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Meta and let them wipe it out? These people are in a position to grow exponentially. And I think you need to recognize that and then allocate your portfolio like I'm doing on our website. And you know how to go to our website and become a part of our tribe and grow with us. Because for God's sakes, this is so obvious to me. And I have not heard anyone else utter a word about it. This is the investment opportunity in you and I's lifetime. And tomorrow, I'll be 79 years old. Come join our tribe. Get on the bus. I think I can change your life.